Good afternoon, everyone. And I hope all is well with all of you and you taking care of yourself and you're loving on yourself and finding that time for self-care for yourself. And usually I'm talking to like our kinship families, our grandparents, our parents that are raising these babies, that sometimes we need to take a step back and breathe, and check on ourselves and take care of our mind, body, soul, and spirit. So I haven't uploaded a video in probably about 2 weeks now. There's been a lot going on. We recently had 2 deaths in our family, and all last week has just been such a busy week. We had family in town, and we got to hang out with them, have dinner with them, even, after the homegoing service. And before that too, we got to spend that time together as a family. And I was thinking, y'all, sometimes that is the only time we get to see like the extended family. But again, we really have to get better at that as well, because it seems like we only see those extended family members around weddings or funerals, right? I know my family is in Michigan, so I am a little ways away from there. Right now, I am in the Maryland, D.C. area. I've been here for quite some time now, so this is like my home. But yeah, we have to make sure that we stay in touch with our family members, whether not just doing a funeral or weddings, right? So yeah, I was just thinking about that, how we really don't get around family. And we had such a good time, even though it was a homegoing service, and in the other funeral, it was 2 funerals, y'all. So, but it was just nice to really be in touch with those family members. And so that is that. But I'm also trying to figure out what is the best time for me to upload a video, because really it's going to be my timing and what works for me. Yes, I hear everybody saying, oh, post as often as possible or upload a video as often as possible. Well, I'm still learning this world of YouTube, and I have to kind of gauge how it works in my life, because again, I am raising a little one all over again. I work a full-time job. I'm a yoga instructor as well, and I also have another business, for a nonprofit business that really gears towards caregivers and kinship families. So I work on that as well. So I have to figure out how I navigate that for myself. That goes back to self-care. I don't want my nervous system all over the place, right? So we have to make sure that we're resetting that nervous system and making sure that, yes, we're gonna have some stress. Like that's normal, but we don't want to stay in that sympathetic nervous system mode. We want to make sure that we get back into the parasympathetic nervous system, where there's rest and relaxation and there's calm. So when you're at work, yes, and when you're doing something, you're gonna have some stress. That's normal. But we don't want to stay there. So I protect that. I protect that for me to make sure that I'm not staying there. So I am trying to figure out what works for me when it comes to uploading a video, what time I should upload a video. Because y'all, in the morning, I'm up pretty early and trying to get out the door and trying to get her out the door. And that's not easy with a 4-year-old, y'all. She's gotten better, because I tell you what, 2, 3, those temper tantrums were a beast. And that was new to me, because I raised 4 and I do not recall any temper tantrums. So I had to learn that. And it's because they can't communicate well. So that's where the temper tantrums came in. So I had to work with her on her communication instead of all the falling out. Now it's her slow poking, taking her time, putting on her clothes, don't know what she want to eat, telling me what she wants to wear. She doesn't want to wear this, she doesn't want to wear that. So things like that. So yes, I need my time in the morning. I have to get up early and get that quiet time in before she rises up out that bed. So that's where I have to focus on what works for me when it comes to self-care, mindfulness, and having an awareness of what works for me. So all this is new to me. This morning, I was sitting on the couch in quiet time and just really trying to focus on that, like being in a moment. But y'all, my mind was going 1,000 miles per hour. I was thinking about what I'm gonna cook. I was thinking about a report that's due at work. I was thinking about, I have 2 clients this weekend coming up. I'm thinking about that. So, and I'm thinking about things that have to do around the house. So there are so many things that my mind was going that I had to take a pause and pull back and say, okay, stop. Because we let our mind go on and on and on and on and never grab hold of those thoughts to get us calm, to a calm place. Here I am at 5:30 in the morning thinking about what needs to be done throughout the day when I should be sitting there in my quiet time, in my space, setting my intention, talking to the Father, praying and meditating. I'm sitting here thinking about the next thing. And we have to work on that. And I know sometimes that happens to me. Not sometimes, a lot of times that happens to me. But that's why I am learning and will continue to learn how to pull those thoughts in and get quiet. And it feels so much better when you just sit in stillness and enjoy the moment. The moment is so peaceful, and just to sit there and not think about anything else but sitting my little butt on that, well, I won't say little butt, sitting my behind on that couch and just being quiet. And that's why I really fell in love with yoga, the quietness of learning meditation and learning to sit quiet and be still. And if any of y'all know yoga, you can sit still like the Savasana or corpse pose. Try to sit there and you have a lot on your mind. You're supposed to be active rest and your mind is going 1,000 miles per hour. But then again, you still have to pull those thoughts in because that is your time for yourself to have some active rest. But the moment when you get up in the morning, before you leave that door, before you walk out that door, before those babies wake up, you really need to set an intention before you walk out that door of what your expectations are, what you want your expectations to be for the day. Because I tell you what, if you don't, it could probably turn out a whole nother way. So that's what I do in the morning. I enjoying that moment because without it, for me, it's not peaceful. And the work that I do, I work in human resources, so I work with people all through the day, and it's people money, y'all. So I have to make sure that I'm doing the best I can with taking care of my mind and my body and my soul and my spirit before I hit that door. And not even just that, but like I mentioned before, my 4-year-old, before she gets up, that I'm okay when she gets up. And I love that time. It is so quiet in the house. I get to sit there, I get to read, I get to journal. And again, everybody's time frame is different. Like, it doesn't have to be at 5:30, but for me, I have to be to work pretty early when I'm out the door. If I'm getting out the door to go to work, yes, I do get those 2 days to work from home. But when I'm getting out the door those days into the office, I need to be up. And even when I'm home, working from home, I need to be up because I still need to get up and get her situated and get her out the door. So I just know the importance of that, of getting that time for yourself. And our mind can go on and on and on. And me, I'm a big overthinker. So I've learned to pull my thoughts back many a times in situations or when I'm doing at work, I overthink sometimes. So I'm learning that because I haven't arrived. There's still work to be done in me, and I'm sure there's still work to be done in you all. I don't think any of us have arrived yet. We have things that we are better at, but we still have a lot to learn and a lot to grow. And one thing that helped me in going through the yoga journey and learning the philosophy of yoga is about calming the fluctuating mind. That's what yoga stands for, calming the fluctuating mind. Because our mind is the movement, and we can't even think clearly because we got so many things going on in our mind, in our personal lives, in our work life. So if you don't take that time for yourself, that will have you all over the place. And I encourage you to find out what works for you. How can you move forward in your life with your self-care plan? For me, it's just simple. My time is my time in the morning. And then at night, I still have my wind down time. Once I get her in the bed and my husband is in the bed, everybody is asleep. That is for me also to wind down and get myself together for the next day, and then make sure that I'm getting my proper rest. My goal is to get 8 hours. I haven't quite got to 8 hours yet, but I'm getting there. At least I get 6 or so. But that is better than none. And sometimes those 6 hours are awesome because I'm not waking up in the middle of the night, so I'm getting a full 6 hours with no interruptions. And sometimes my grandbaby Phoenix will pop in and try to, get in our bed. But again, we're setting a tone for her too, that you have to stay in your own bed. She's 4 now, so we still allow her some time to come in and go to sleep because she likes to cuddle and I like to cuddle too. But I'll still put her back in her room. And we also need our time. As you know, we've been married 28 years, but we've been together like 31 years. So we've been together quite some time. We've raised 4 kids together, and now we're starting all over with Phoenix. So we make sure that we get our time in too. So for those of you who are married and raising babies, and then even the grandparents that are raising y'all babies, or y'all can be grandparents that have y'all grandkids all the time. So you never know. But even in a marriage and you have everything that's going around, you have to nurture that too. You have to nurture yourself, number one. But you still have to nurture that relationship, or your partnership, or whoever you're with, that needs to be nurtured as well. But you can't nurture anyone or love on anyone if you're not loving on yourself first. So I encourage you to think about what works for you. We found some time in a space that works for us. We do often get together, my husband and I, we make that time for ourselves. It's not as often as we want because we have things that's going on right now, but we do on the weekends, on a Friday night or Saturday night, we make that time for ourselves as often as possible, because I'm working during the week, he's working during the week, we get home pretty late in the evenings, so we do make that time. Even if it's a quick getaway, we do that as well. So it's nurturing yourself, nurturing those relationships around you, your friendships. That helps also. That helps a lot. That helps tremendously when you have that. It's like community, right? You got to find out who that circle is that also feeds your soul. And it's got to be someone, a friendship, and number one, your spouse or your partner or whoever you're with. That needs to be nurtured. But it's also good to have really good friends. I have some awesome girlfriends. I love them to pieces. We get together once a month when our schedules permits, but when we see each other, we are happy to see each other. Trust me. We try to schedule that once a month to get together, to spend that time together. So find out what works for you. Find out what feeds your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. You have to get that time for yourself, because without it, y'all, we can't function in this world. Maybe some of y'all can, and my hat goes off to you if you can go and not sit still for a while and get in prayer. Maybe you have something else that works for you. But I'm talking really, like, if you have kids and you have other things that's going on in your life, you have to get that taken care of. But you have to take care of yourself, because you can't love on anyone, y'all. You can't really help anyone if you're not helping yourself. And and try to make some adjustments in your life if it's that busy. Start off with 2 minutes. Start off with 3 minutes. It doesn't matter what time that works for you. I make time. I try to work out. That's the time for me. It's not as long as I want. It may be about a quick 20 minutes, about 2 or 3 days a week. I'm working myself up to that. I do yoga. I come in here into my studio. I do at least some sun sales at least 6 or 7 times, so I can get my body flowing. So you just have to figure out what works for you, right? I know what works for me, but you know what works for you. So I encourage you all to continue to work towards a goal to take care of yourself. Number 1, love on yourself. Figure out what works for you. Love on your loved ones. Carve that time out in a day. You will not be disappointed, because I tell you what, I wasn't doing it before. I was doing it and then I'll stop. I was doing it, and sometimes, and my goal is not to stop this time, because I need it, especially with my husband and I, our time and us raising a little one. We have to make, and I'm working a full-time job with other things going on in our lives. So make sure, and a lot of times, a lot of us have so many things going on in our lives that we forget about what we need for our spirit. So I encourage you to take care of yourself, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Do not forget and do not neglect the love that you give to yourself, and then you can give that love back out to your loved ones. Love y'all, and y'all take care.